Hi, Dr. Shelah Harris here today, and we're going to be talking about the ego as the killer of relationships and successes. Yes, the ego is a killer of relationships and successes. Many times we don't really understand why we are stuck in life. And I tell you, many of us are in some kind of invisible boat or plane that is going nowhere. We think it's moving, but it's not moving. It's moving in our head, in our pictures that we have mentally, but it's really not moving because we are just going in circles. And sooner or later we find, wait a minute, I've been here before. How is it that I got here again? And it's because you are operated by your ego. Your ego is a program that operates you. And until you transcend it, you're just going around in circles and you think you're moving forward. And sooner or later, you will discover this. I discovered it myself, and it was scary when I first learned about this for real. And I began to wonder, well, how do I get out of this situation? And nothing can get us out of the ego until we are spiritually evolved. And that's the solution to humankind's problem, when we figure out that the problem is the ego. The spiritual desires in us have to be awakened so that we will transcend beyond our ego. So, what is the ego? My spiritual teacher, when I asked this question a couple of years back, gave an exercise which I completed. I remember he was such an insightful person because he simply said, if you want to really know what your ego is, rather than me give you definition, if you try and do this exercise, I guarantee you will figure out what the ego is. So the exercise that I was given is the same exercise I'm going to give you. And those of you watching this video, and by the way, please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and by all means please subscribe to my channel, because every month I'm putting out many videos out for you and others who are interested in subjects of spirituality and personal development and growth. And I would love to make sure that you get notified about all the videos that I'm putting. Just make sure you stay tuned and you will be well advised and notified of future videos. And of course, those that are existing, you can check me out in the playlist and you'll find more videos on this subject as well. So going back to the ego, the exercise, it was simple. And the exercise is this: find 10 people that you know that are in your life one way or the other, and pray 10 minutes for them for at least 1 week. And when you're praying for them, try and do this non-stop. And preferably, do not do the prayer for your children or your spouse, because these are people who are already tied to you anyway, and you will do anything for them because naturally we are tied to our families, our closest families. So do this for people who you don't have any tie with, at least physically, as you understand now. So I embarked on my teacher's assignment, and I was almost certain in my mind that I will pull this off. I made up my mind that in the morning when I'm going to the train station, I usually walked to the train station at that time, and I will just use my 30 minutes to pray for people as I am going to the train station. Of course, I found 10 people that are not directly connected with me biologically. So I made my list and I began the exercise. I was so shocked to find that it didn't take me 1 minute to start thinking about things to do with myself. I tried to come back in the prayer and continue the prayer, and then the same thing happened, and it just kept happening over and over. And I thought, oh my God. In fact, it was day 3. I gave up by day 3, and I recognized what was the ego right immediately after that point, because I just could not do the exercise in the way that the teacher had asked us to do it. And then I realized, okay, the ego is a force that ties me to me. It just prevents me from thinking well for others. It does prevent me doing good to others. And it's not like I want to do bad to them, but I just can't think about them. I just think about me and what I want and what really will be beneficial for me. And that's how the ego works. And so it's not necessary that you're thinking bad about others, although that's also part of it. And I observed myself when I began to do more exercises. When you meet people, what do you think about? Do you think well about them? Sometimes I'm veering off with my mind, judging them. And I saw all these things happening to me, just observing how I was interacting with others. And my teacher then said, that's really, it's the force called the ego. The ego is the force that prevents you from connecting with others. And it does so by directing your attention to yourself, what will benefit you and not what will benefit others. Your ego will denigrate others and belittle them and say nasty things about others just so that you will feel good about you. And I got it because I did that exercise. And if you do this exercise yourself, you find a lot more about you that you probably did not even know existed. And you will see how much time you spend thinking about you and not thinking about others. In fact, it got so bad whereby I remembered how I have to immediately, when I make decisions, ask myself, how is this decision going to impact others when I make them? And if it will impact them negatively, what can I do to make sure that negative impact is mitigated? So that's much I know about the ego. The ego is a force. And for it to be a reality for you, you need to really study your own ego and how it works in you. And once you know how the ego works in you, you have at least uncovered one of the sources of your problems. One of the sources of my problem was when I uncover it, I recognized that many of my relationship problems were as a result of how my ego mind works. It basically says I'm more important, and every decision that was being made that I don't agree with is a decision that was attacking me. Well, that's not true, is it? And so I have to begin to learn to stop myself and say, well, hang on a minute, that's not true. Why would anyone want to attack me? Why would these individuals just hate me? That's not true. So I made a habit of asking questions, of asking why a decision was made, and then believe that the decisions were made on the basis of merit, not on the basis of attacking me. And so the ego, you will say, hello, how are you to someone, and a person who may think something is wrong with them that you are referring to, that's what propelled you to say, hello, how are you, will latch at you. And you will wonder, well, hang on a minute, I just said, hello, how are you? What's the problem here? And then you then discover subsequently, this person may have some problems that they think you know about, and that is why you said what you said. So it works in that way. Why does it kill relationships? A lot of times, all our conflicts are because of how our ego works. If only we can just stop and ask questions politely, and when we are not clear about the motive or the intention behind the comments that the person made or the things they do, we will learn something about another person that we have no clue exists, or no clue was the reason for their own decision. In fact, the moment we begin to practice to get out of what our thinking pattern is, to understand what the thinking pattern of another person is, that is the moment we begin to transcend above our ego. Because what that means is that I don't take my thinking and implant it as the truth and the holy truth, but rather stop and ask what else is going on beyond what I think is going on, because I am not sure, because I'm not in that person to know. I need to find out why they did what they did. And when we do that, we will begin to understand life better. We will save ourselves from a lot of traumatic experiences that we have in relationships. And that will create success in our lives. So Please do subscribe to this channel. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. Share it with others. And let me know of any other topics in the areas that I cover that you would like to see in this channel. Thank you and God bless.